Welcome to MMA Fan. My name is Luke Mason. Welcome back for everyone who is already a subscriber to the YouTube channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe so you can see more great interviews, including the one coming at you right now. He is the first time on this show as a pro MMA fighter and one half of the main event for 247 Fighting Championships Brawl in the Burgh 26, going down at the debut event at the arena, Sunny Days Arena at the venue. It's still new to me, but it's going to be super, super exciting. Super happy to have Elijah, the Buffalo Soldier Harris. Elijah, welcome to the show.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's really great to have you, particularly anytime it's a new person on the show. But in your case, you're debuting at 247 Fighting Championships February 1st, and you're in the main event. So before we get to that, what athletic background did you have prior to getting into MMA?
Prior to getting into MMA, I had a wrestling background. I wrestled in college for a little bit, wrestled pretty much the whole way up through youth. But I also played football, baseball, soccer, and track. So I was very, very active. And I like to be that way in my fight career. I like to stay busy.
Well, and stay busy you did. As a pro, you now have 15 pro fights. What got you started, and kind of when did you start training, and when did you have your amateur debut? I mean, obviously you've been fighting for a long time. Just kind of fill us in on the journey.
So with wrestling, I went to college to wrestle for a year. And over that summer, I wanted to do something just to stay training and stay in shape. So I went to a local MMA gym and I made my amateur debut less than 2 months later. I probably wasn't ready, but I'm always a gamer, and I just jumped in.
Absolutely. What college did you attend for wrestling for that year?
I went to Penn State Mont Alto, one of the satellite campuses of Penn State.
Sure. Well, that is great. Um, Take us back to when you were finishing up your amateur MMA career. What do you remember being the tipping point that let you know that it was time to go pro? Obviously, you've been pro fighter for a while now for 15 fights.
Yeah, honestly, so I had an amateur title fight that was ruled a no contest, and Bill Bookwalter was the referee, and he told me that if it would have been under pro rules, I would have won by doctor stoppage instead of it being a no contest. So it was like 3 weeks later, I made my pro debut against somebody as a rematch, Timmy Tyler. Um, so yeah, that was, I didn't really give it too much thought.
You now have 15 pro fights under your belt, coming into your 16th versus Justin the General Patton. What has been the highlight so far of your pro career with that many pro fights?
Um, I'm not sure. A lot of my fights I've taken on short notice. I just like to stay busy and I love to fight. I've fought a lot of high level guys. Some are in the UFC. So there's no style or any caliber of opponent I haven't already been in there with.
And that transitions perfectly, Elijah, to your thoughts on Justin. What are your thoughts on him as an opponent? Depending on what tape you've watched on him and what you know on him.
Right. So I haven't looked into him too much, to be honest. I just focus on being the most well-rounded that I can be and be ready for any fight that comes up. But I would say that he's decent everywhere. He's not great anywhere. He's a scrappy guy, and I think it'll be a very entertaining fight for the fans.
Well, I'm sure it will be with this matchup. I've watched Justin for a long time, and getting you to come in with your experience level. Do you kind of consider yourself scrappy, or a little bit more well-rounded? What would be your style?
I'm definitely scrappy, but I like to think I'm well-rounded. I wouldn't say, I'm the best at boxing or the best at Muay Thai or even the best wrestler. But when it comes to mixing them all together, there aren't very many that are better.
Well, I can't wait to see you on February 1st. It's going to be incredible. A main event is always exciting, and then throw on top on top of that, that 247 is using your fight as main event to open their new venue, something that is really, really exciting. A regional MMA promotion owning their own building. And they just announced today that they're going to do monthly Brawl in the Burgh, which is their professional submission only grappling within the cage. And then, of course, their existing MMA as well. So it's really going to be a big deal come February 1st. Where have you been training out of to get ready for this, and how has your training been going?
I train at Tactical Combat Academy out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania, under Josh Hummer, and camp's been going phenomenal. I just fought back December 13th, and I had a 12-week camp going into that fight, and it was a crappy stoppage, crappy outcome, but I walked away completely injury-free and just rolled right into the next camp. So I'm feeling great.
Well, I think that's something I'm picking up from you for just a little bit we've chatted, is that you're really eager and always down to fight, and I obviously it's great that you didn't get any injury in your last fight and that you rolled right into this camp for your main event for 247. I can't wait to see it. Obviously, anytime there's somebody new and then fighting somebody that's, a pretty big deal in the Pittsburgh area. So
Yeah.
I guess that's a good question as we kind of start to wrap up, is what are your thoughts on enemy territory? Justin is very much a Pittsburgh guy.
I love it. I love enemy territory. I'm the guy that when I walk out, you're all booing me, but by the end of it, you're all cheering.
Well, that would be fantastic to see. I always give credit for any fighter, yourself included, coming in to what they know will be enemy territory and hostile crowd. So I do think, you can take it positively, like you just said. You take it as motivation and you try to win over the crowd. I can't wait to see it. People need to get their tickets now. If they're in the area, and can come in person, they should get them from 247fighting.com and make sure they give you credit if you have anybody that's coming in person. If they're going to be doing the pay-per-view, then they need to download now the 247 Live app on any app store, which is pretty fantastic. The 247 Fighting Championships has their own app. And we do this as a public service announcement. Absolutely no links will be posted to Facebook. There will be tons and tons of scam links on Facebook posts, including the 247 post, but those are all scams. The only way to get pay-per-view is either through the 247 Live app or directly through the 247fighting.com website. So that's just a heads up, particularly for your people, that will likely be a pay-per-view. So I appreciate you so much for coming on. This has been Luke Payson with Elijah, the Buffalo Soldier Harris. Can't wait to see you in action at the main event for 247 Fighting Championship Brawl in the Burgh 26, going down February 1st at the brand new Sunny Days Arena at the venue. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You got it.